First things first, Luke.
Hi.
How are you?
Yeah, a little bit poorly, but apart from that, I'm very good. Thank you for having me.
I hope you feel better soon then.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's gonna be like ginger, lemons, honey.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So, before we get into the new record, I'd like to jump back to the beginning quickly.
Cool. Yeah.
Do you remember the first song that you wrote that you were proud of?
I actually do, but it was a long time ago. Because I started writing songs definitely like when I was pretty young, maybe like 10 or 11. I really started writing songs before I could even play other people's songs. And I wrote this song called My House because I had a friend who didn't want to come to my house because his house was like bigger and better, and he had like, you know, do you remember like a Nintendo 64?
Sure.
With GoldenEye, and he had that and I didn't have it. So he was like, he wanted to go to his house. So I wrote this song about it, and it's called My House, and I can't remember how it went, but I remember being proud of it, yeah.
At that time, because you say you started writing songs before playing other people's songs, so what?
Yeah.
But what did you get out of songwriting? What made you go?
I think I was writing songs because I didn't have the skill to play other people's songs.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I picked up a lot of Oasis tunes. I think I used to do Roll With It, and I had some Beatles ones, and oh yeah, you know, I used to do Great Balls of Fire. Jerry Lee Lewis, but on the guitar.
Right.
It's a great song.
Did it work on the guitar?
Yeah.
Okay.
You could play. Well, I used to play in this band with some mates, and there was a keyboard guy as well, so I just played the chords as well. But yeah, so I don't know. I think that I just always wanted to be a songwriter anyway. Like, it was always like my thing. I never wanted to be the best guitar player. I never wanted to be the best singer or anything like that. I just wanted to write songs. I don't know why. I think I really, you know, my favorite guy was Bob Dylan, so maybe that's why. I don't, you know, and he embodies that. He's all about the writing and the work. He's not about being the greatest singer, being the greatest player of anything. So yeah.
So, and I'm sure you've talked about Bob Dylan enough, but was that kind of what gave you an impetus to go after songwriting and go into music even?
Yeah, I think so. I think when I discovered Dylan, which is kind of crazy because it's such a totally different era, but I think, you know, that inspired me to want to do something. I think because I looked a bit like him as well. People used to say I look like him, so I think I naturally grabbed it. It made me think, yeah, I could be a rock star or a folk star, or whatever you want to say.
And then, with the kind of a connection to the album now, then there was also another role model maybe for you was your father, who wrote a song as well.
Yes.
Or multiple, but there's one that appears on the album.
Exactly. Yeah, Honey Bee. Yeah, that was a really cool moment. I mean, so, yeah, my dad passed away when I was a kid, but what happened was my sister. I mean, it was a very, very cool moment, emotional, but also just really fun. My sister found some old demos of songs that he'd written. I don't know when he wrote them, but he probably recorded them in like the 80s. He had like a 4-track or an 8-track at home, and so I just really liked this one song, and I sort of reworked it a bit and added my own bit flavour to it. And I was just jamming it in the studio, and the guys came in and everyone thought it was a new song. So they go like, this is great, we want to record this. And basically, like, I was, you know, obviously I said, oh, it's, you know, my dad's song. So we were going to record it, everyone loved it. And then I just had this idea, I just thought, yeah, why not like try and get his voice into the song, but I didn't know how to do it, and we didn't have the multi-track.
Right.
But with like modern technology, like you can, the guys, the engineers are amazing. They managed to, there's a program where they managed to isolate his vocal from the rest of the track, and then we put it in. But it was really, really emotional. I mean, like actually singing with my dad was cool in the studio with the headphones on. It felt like a real, like, really cool connection.
Because I can imagine, well, after your sister found that demo, then and you hearing that for the first time, do you remember that? Do you kind of?
Well, I'd been aware of that song because we had another version of it But yeah, it's an amazing thing to have. It's my connection to him when he's not been around. Music really, I think, you said about Dylan, but I think really I make music because my dad did. And I think that's really why I ended up doing it. And so to have his music, to be able to hear it is really special. And I think it's one of the most important moments in my life to do that song, Honeybee, because it's like an ode to him, and it gives him fresh life. You know, it lets him live on, and the kids will hopefully sing along to the song with my dad. Yeah.
And well, as you say, he was an example for you going into music.
Say that
again? He was an example for you going. He kind of motivate you to get into music. After he passed away, then, what did music mean to you? Because you knowing that he.
Well, it wasn't really like that. I mean, basically, what it is. My dad died when I was 3. Oh,
okay.
So I wasn't really conscious of it. Obviously, I was to a degree, but it was more. It was like he had a Les Paul, a Gibson Les Paul, actually. Funny enough, in a Gibson showroom. He had this Les Paul that would just be out, and that was. And we had pictures of him, like he supported the Rolling Stones, so like in Bristol. So we had like a picture of him with his band next to the Rolling Stones, and so all these kind of things, like his musical history was all around me in the house. So that's really why I think I wanted to be a musician. When I was a kid, I was like, I want to play that guitar like Dad, even though it wasn't around. Yeah.
And then it happens, and especially early on, everything goes really well. What was that like to experience at the time? Because I can imagine it went quite fast.
It was cool. It was. I think that we didn't expect at all. I mean, maybe no one really does, but we didn't really expect things to go quite so well as they did on the first album. And it was a bit of a whirlwind, and we did a hell of a lot of touring. We were in a kind of Beatles-style schedule. It was like matinees, flying. You fly into fucking Asia, and then you're getting off the plane. You're going to do another show, and then so it was very intense, and we were really young. So it kind of went in a flash. But I look back fondly on it. It was good times. I think we did get a bit distracted because we were young, and we did kind of. All our contemporaries were a bit older than us.
Right.
Bar like Arctic Monkeys. I mean, you think Franz Ferdinand and who are the big bands? like Kaiser Chiefs and the Libertines and all the other British bands were all like 10 years older than us. So I think it was a crazy experience to have that when you're 18.
And in particular, I think. Because we talk about the songwriting, having that response to songs you've written yourself, the emotions you've put into those songs, what was that like in particular? Because I imagine that's.
I don't really think about that.
Okay.
People ask me quite a lot about it. I think it is a songwriter is quite dangerous to think about, because I think the minute you start writing thinking someone's going to hear it like that, it can be a bit of an issue. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's an amazing thing, and like it's really nice when people have their own sort of their own relationship with a song that you've written. It's cool, but I don't know. You just get on with it. I'm someone I just think quite logically. Like I want to just write a song. I want to get on stage and sing a song, and. Singing together is a beautiful experience, but I don't really take it too much deeper than that. I think that is going down the rabbit hole a bit.
This is overthinking things.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's music. It's rock and roll. It's life, and it's fun, and it's I'm just saying, when I write a song, I'm just talking about something that's happened to me or something I want to talk about. If people resonate with it, that's kind of their experience. It's nothing to do with me at that point. Right. It's to do with that person. I feel that way with music I listen to. It's like, it almost lives on its own. So I don't really think about it too much.
Okay.